He thought he was hunting an Omega, a weak, obedient husband he could control, humiliate, and use as bait to destroy a Mafia family. But every time Vincent saved him, Liam was already one step ahead. And when the Ashford empire finally collapsed, Vincent realized the truth too late. He was never the hunter. He was the weapon. And Liam was the one holding the trigger. Vincent Devereux didn't believe in coincidences. Not when blood had painted his childhood walls. Not when the last thing he remembered of his mother was her hand slipping from his. So when he saw Liam Ashford for the first time, he didn't think fate. He thought target. The charity gala shimmered with wealth and lies. Crystal chandeliers spilled light across polished marble floors. Laughter echoed too loud, too rehearsed. Deals were being made behind smiles, alliances sealed with wine. Vincent stood at the edge of it all, a shadow dressed in elegance. Black suit, sharp lines, colder eyes. He didn't belong here. But neither did they. Not really. Not the Ashfords. Then, Vincent's gaze caught on something soft. No. Someone. A boy stood near the balcony doors, half hidden behind velvet curtains, as if he'd wandered into the wrong world and didn't know how to leave. Liam Ashford. Vincent knew the name before he even confirmed the face. He had memorized every detail long ago. The Ashfords' only Omega. Their precious one. Their weakness. Liam didn't move like someone raised in power. He stood too still. Too careful. Like a glass doll waiting to be dropped. Soft silver hair brushed against his cheeks. His eyes, wide, uncertain, almost frightened, tracked the crowd like prey surrounded by predators. Beautiful. Painfully so. Vincent's jaw tightened. So this is what they protect. Liam shifted slightly, fingers curling into the fabric of his sleeve. Someone brushed past him, an alpha, and the reaction was instant. A flinch. Small. Quick. But real. Vincent caught it, and something about it didn't fit. Careful, a voice murmured beside Liam. Vincent's gaze sharpened. He watched as one of Liam's brothers leaned in, smiling for the crowd, but his grip on Liam's wrist was just a little too tight. Too controlled. Liam's expression didn't change. Didn't resist. Didn't react. Like he was used to it. Vincent's chest stirred with something unfamiliar. Annoyance? No. Curiosity. He moved before he thought about it. One step. Two. The crowd parted without noticing him. His presence wasn't loud, but it commanded. By the time Liam realized someone had stopped in front of him, it was already too late. Their eyes met. Time didn't slow. It stilled. Liam blinked first. Confusion flickered across his face, then something softer, something fragile. Vincent saw it. And for a second, a very brief, dangerous second, he almost forgot why he was here. You look lost, Vincent said quietly. Liam's lips parted, like he wasn't expecting to be spoken to at all. I know, Liam murmured, voice gentle, uncertain. I'm just resting. Vincent tilted his head slightly. You don't like crowds. It wasn't a question. Liam hesitated, then shook his head. No. Honest. Too honest. Vincent let a faint smile touch his lips, not warm, but convincing enough. Then why stay? Liam's fingers tightened again. Because I was told to. There it was again. That obedience. That quiet submission that didn't feel natural. Vincent studied him more closely now. This wasn't weakness. This was something trained. Then, Vincent said softly, stepping just a little closer, maybe you should learn to disobey. Liam's breath caught. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes. Not fear. Not confusion. Something deeper. Something buried. I don't think I'm allowed to do that, Liam whispered. Vincent leaned in just enough for his voice to drop lower, more intimate. Then no one has taught you properly. The air shifted. Liam felt it. The pressure. The presence. Alpha. Strong. Controlled. But not suffocating. Not like the others. Liam didn't step back. Didn't flinch. Instead, he looked at Vincent like he was trying to understand something impossible. Who are you? Liam asked. Vincent straightened. For a moment, he considered lying. But then, he didn't. Vincent. No last name. Not yet. Liam nodded slowly, like he was memorizing it. I'm Liam. I know. Silence stretched between them. But it wasn't uncomfortable. Not for Liam. For the first time that night, his shoulders eased, just slightly. Behind them, eyes watched. Always watching. The Ashfords didn't miss anything that belonged to them. Vincent knew that. Of course he did. This. All of this. Was planned. Every step. Every word. Every glance. He had studied Liam for months. Learned his patterns. His habits. His weaknesses. But this. The way Liam looked at him now. That wasn't in the plan. You shouldn't stand alone, Vincent said after a moment. I'm not alone, Liam replied softly. Vincent's gaze flicked briefly toward the shadows where Liam's family lingered. Watching. Controlling. Waiting. No, Vincent said, voice colder now. You're not. Liam followed his gaze. And for a second, just a second, something dark flickered behind his eyes. Gone as quickly as it came. Then Liam smiled. Soft. Gentle. Breakable. I should go back, he said. Vincent nodded, but didn't move. Liam hesitated. Then, will I see you again? There it was. Hooked. Too easy. Vincent stepped back finally, giving him space. That depends, he said calmly. On what? Vincent's eyes held his. On whether you decide to disobey. Liam froze. Then Vincent turned and walked away. No hesitation. No backward glance. But he didn't need to look. He could feel it. Liam was watching him. And just like that, the first move had been made. Across the room, one of the Ashford brothers stepped forward, jaw tight. Who was that? Liam blinked, pulled from the moment. Just someone I met. The grip on his shoulder tightened. Stay away from strangers. Liam nodded. Of course he did. He always did. But that night, when he lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, fingers curled into the sheets, he whispered a name into the dark. Vincent. And somewhere else. Vincent stood in silence, staring at a file he already knew by heart. Liam Ashford. Age 19. Designation Omega. Status untouched. Vincent closed the file slowly. Soon, he murmured. But his voice wasn't as steady as it should have been. Because for the first time, his plan didn't feel like a plan. It felt like something far more dangerous. And neither of them realized that from the very beginning, they were both lying. Vincent didn't chase. He made people come to him. 3 days passed after the gala. 3 carefully measured, deliberate days. No calls. No appearances. No accidents. Vincent stood by the window of his office, watching the city stretch beneath him like something he could crush between his fingers if he wanted to. He checked his watch. 10:17 a.m. Right on time. A knock came. Soft. Hesitant. Exactly as expected. Come in, Vincent said without turning. The door opened slowly. Light footsteps. A pause. Then, Vincent. There it was. That voice. Gentle. Uncertain. Almost like it didn't belong in the same room as him. Vincent turned then, just enough to let his expression soften into something believable. Surprise. Mild. Controlled. Liam. He let the name settle on his tongue like it mattered. You found me. Liam stood near the door, fingers lightly gripping the strap of his bag like he needed something to anchor himself. I asked around, he admitted quietly. Of course you did. Vincent had made sure of it. A name dropped here. A hint there. Just enough for Liam to follow. Not enough to make it obvious. You shouldn't, Vincent said, tone calm but edged. Liam blinked. Shouldn't. Vincent walked closer, slow, measured steps. Not threatening, but not gentle either. You don't know who I am, he said. Liam didn't move. Didn't step back. Just looked at him with those wide, searching eyes. Then tell me. Vincent stopped just within reach. Close enough to feel the faint sweetness of Liam's scent. Omega. Soft. But underneath. Something sharper. Something restrained. Interesting. I'm not someone you should be involved with, Vincent said, voice low now. Honest, but incomplete. Liam's lips pressed together slightly. But you talked to me. Vincent tilted his head. And you listened. A beat passed. Then Liam said softer. I wanted to. Vincent watched him carefully. Every micro-expression. Every shift in breath. Hook set deeper. You're persistent, Vincent murmured. I'm not, Liam said quickly. Then quieter. I just don't meet people like you. Vincent almost smiled. Of course you don't. Not real ones. And what kind of person am I? Vincent asked. Liam hesitated, like he was choosing his words carefully. Someone who doesn't look at me like I belong to someone else. The air stilled. Vincent's gaze sharpened. That wasn't in the script. But he adapted quickly. He always did. Maybe you do belong to someone else, Vincent said, testing. Liam shook his head. Small. Firm. No. Too quick. Too certain. Vincent stepped closer. Close enough now that Liam should have reacted. Flinched. Pulled away. He didn't. Vincent lowered his voice. Then why do you act like you do? Liam's breath hitched. Just slightly. I was raised that way, he said. Truth. Raw. Unfiltered. Vincent felt something twist in his chest. Annoying. Unnecessary. He ignored it. Then maybe it's time you unlearn it. Liam looked up at him. And for a moment, there was something in his eyes Vincent couldn't quite read. Can you teach me? There it was. Submission wrapped as trust. Dependence. Vincent exhaled slowly. Yes, he said. And just like that, the second string tightened. Days turned into a pattern. A rhythm Vincent designed. He let Liam come. Never invited. Never refused. Sometimes he ignored him. Made him wait. Made him wonder. Other times, he gave him just enough attention to keep him hooked. A conversation. A glance. A quiet moment that felt more intimate than it should. Vincent controlled everything. The distance. The closeness. The pace. And Liam followed. You shouldn't be here so often, Vincent said one afternoon, barely looking up from his desk. Liam stood by the window again. Same spot. Like he belonged there now. Do you want me to stop? Vincent paused. Then deliberately didn't answer right away. Silence stretched. Tension built. No, he said finally. Liam's shoulders eased. Just a little. Vincent saw it. Logged it. Used it. Sit, Vincent added. Liam obeyed instantly. Good. Your family doesn't question where you go. Vincent asked casually. Liam's fingers curled slightly. They do. And I tell them I'm studying. Vincent's lips curved faintly. A lie. Yes. Vincent leaned back in his chair, watching him. You're learning already. Liam didn't smile. But something about him softened. Like approval mattered. Perfect. Vincent stood and walked toward him. Slow. Measured. Every movement intentional. He stopped in front of Liam, then reached out, and gently lifted his chin. Liam froze. There it was. That instinctive stillness. That conditioning. Vincent's thumb brushed lightly against his jaw. Testing. Waiting. Liam didn't pull away. Vincent's voice dropped. Do you trust me? Liam's answer came too fast. Yes. Vincent's eyes darkened. Too easy. You shouldn't, he whispered. But he didn't let go. Liam's gaze didn't waver. I know. A lie. Or something else. Vincent couldn't tell. And that irritated him. He released him slowly. Go home, Vincent said. Liam stood immediately. Obedient again. At the door, he paused. Vincent. Vincent didn't turn. I'll come again tomorrow. Vincent allowed a small pause. Then, do what you want. The door closed softly behind him. Silence returned. Vincent stood still for a long moment. Then exhaled. Everything was proceeding perfectly. Liam was attached. Dependent. Predictable. Exactly as planned. And yet, Vincent's gaze shifted to the chair Liam had just left. Why don't you react? He murmured to himself. Because he had seen it. That first night. That flinch. That fear. But now, nothing. No resistance. No fear. No hesitation. Just quiet obedience. Vincent didn't like variables he couldn't measure. But it didn't matter. It wouldn't change the outcome. He turned back to his desk and opened a locked drawer. Inside, a file. Old. Worn. Stained with something darker than time. Devereux family massacre. Vincent's expression hardened instantly. Cold. Sharp. Unforgiving. Ashford's, he said quietly. His fingers tightened around the edge of the file. Soon, he closed it again. Whatever Liam was. Soft. Broken. Strange. It didn't matter. He was still in Ashford. And Vincent would use him. Break him. If that's what it took. Because revenge didn't care about innocence. And love. Love was just another weapon. Vincent decided it was time to escalate. Attachment alone wasn't enough. Dependence wasn't enough. He needed desperation. Because desperate people made reckless choices. And reckless choices led to chains. So he built the stage. It started with distance. Liam came the next day. And Vincent wasn't there. No message. No explanation. The receptionist told him Vincent had urgent business. Liam nodded. Waited. Sat in the same chair for 3 hours. Vincent watched it all through the security feed. Still. Quiet. Patient. Not once did Liam complain. Not once did he leave. Vincent leaned back in his chair, fingers tapping slowly against the armrest. Why? He muttered. Anyone else would have walked away. Anyone else would have demanded answers. But Liam? He just waited. That unnatural calm again. Vincent's eyes narrowed slightly. Interesting. He didn't go back that day. Or the next. Or the next. 3 days of silence. 3 days of absence. And then, Vincent made sure Liam saw him. Not alone. The cafe was public. Bright. Safe. Ordinary. Vincent sat by the window, posture relaxed, expression softer than usual. Across from him, a woman. Beautiful. Elegant. Laughing. Vincent didn't touch her. Didn't lean in. Didn't cross any lines. But from the outside, it looked like something intimate. Something real. Exactly as intended. The bell above the cafe door chimed. Vincent didn't look up. He didn't need to. He felt it. That shift in the air. That quiet presence. Liam. Vincent let the moment stretch. Let Liam see. Let him misunderstand. Then, slowly, he glanced toward the door. Their eyes met. And there it was. Not loud. Not dramatic. But unmistakable. Something cracked. Liam stood frozen for a second too long. His fingers tightened around the door handle. His lips parted slightly, like he wanted to say something. Vincent held his gaze. Didn't smile. Didn't explain. Just watched. Then turned back to the woman. Dismissed him. That did it. Liam left. Vincent exhaled slowly, gaze lowering to the table. Too easy, he murmured. Is something wrong? The woman asked. Vincent smiled faintly. No. Everything was going exactly how it should. That evening, Liam didn't come. The next day, he didn't come. Vincent waited. Not visibly. But he noticed. The absence. The silence. It stretched longer than expected. 3 days. 4. Vincent's patience thinned. He should have come by now, he muttered. Something in his chest tightened. Annoying. Unnecessary. He shut the feeling down immediately. Fine. If Liam wouldn't come, he would pull harder. The university courtyard buzzed with noise. Students gathered in clusters, voices overlapping in a steady hum. Liam stood at the edge of it all. Same as always. Invisible in plain sight. Until a voice cut through the air. Liam. Soft. Familiar. Liam turned. Vincent walked toward him like he belonged everywhere. Like nothing had happened. Like the past week didn't exist. Liam didn't move. Didn't smile. Didn't speak. Good. Vincent stopped in front of him. You disappeared. Liam's fingers curled slightly at his sides. You were busy. Vincent tilted his head. So you decided to leave? Liam's gaze flickered. Just once. You seemed happy. There it was. Vincent stepped closer. Lowered his voice. She doesn't matter. Liam looked up at him then. Searching. Careful. But you smiled, Liam said. Vincent let out a quiet breath. Like the question amused him. I smile when it's required. Not a lie. Liam's brows pulled together slightly. Was it required with me? Vincent stilled. That was new. But he recovered instantly. No, Vincent said softly. Liam's breath caught. Vincent leaned in just enough. Close. Personal. Dangerous. I don't do anything with you because I have to. A lie. Smooth. Perfect. Liam's defenses cracked just a little more. Then why didn't you come back? He asked. Vincent watched him closely. Then, carefully, chose his next move. I wanted to see if you would look for me. Truth wrapped in manipulation. Liam froze. And, he whispered. Vincent held his gaze. You didn't. Silence. Then Liam said quietly. I didn't think I was allowed to. Vincent's chest tightened again. Sharply this time. That word. Allowed. He reached out suddenly. Gripped Liam's wrist. Firm. Unyielding. You don't need permission, Vincent said, voice lower now edged. Liam didn't pull away. Didn't resist. Then tell me what I need, he said. There it was. Dependence. Submission. Need. Vincent exhaled slowly. Then, he made his move. I need you to stay away from your family. Liam's eyes widened. What? Vincent stepped closer. Not completely, he said. Just enough. Liam shook his head slightly. They won't allow that. Vincent's grip tightened. I don't care what they allow. The words came out colder than intended. Liam flinched. Barely. But it was there. Vincent saw it. Paused. Then softened his tone deliberately. They're controlling you, he said quietly. You know that. Liam didn't answer. Vincent leaned closer. You don't belong to them. A beat. Then where do I belong? Liam asked. Vincent didn't hesitate. With me. The words settled heavy between them. Liam's breath hitched. And just like that, the final string tightened. Vincent released him slowly. Think about it, he said. Then turned and walked away, leaving Liam standing there. Alone. Conflicted. Exactly where Vincent wanted him. That night, Vincent sat in silence, replaying everything. The reactions. The words. The pauses. Everything aligned. Liam was close. So close to crossing the line. And once he did, there would be no turning back. Vincent leaned his head back, closing his eyes briefly. Just a little more, he murmured. Just one push. One break. One moment of weakness. And Liam Ashford would choose him. Over his family. Over everything. Across the city, Liam sat in the dark. Silent. Still. His fingers brushed lightly over his wrist. Where Vincent had held him. His expression didn't change. Didn't soften. Didn't break. Only his eyes shifted slightly. Colder. Deeper. Unreadable. Almost, Liam whispered. And in the darkness, for the first time, there was no hesitation in his voice. Vincent didn't expect the call. It came at 2:13 a.m. Short. Quiet. Unsteady. Vincent. He was already awake. Always was. But something in that voice, something thinner than usual, made him sit up. Liam. A pause. Breath uneven. Can you come? Liam asked softly. No explanation. No details. Vincent swung his legs off the bed. I'm on my way. The line cut. The Ashford estate rose from the darkness like a predator that didn't need to hide. Cold lights. Silent guards. Walls that had seen too much and said nothing. Vincent stepped out of the car, gaze sweeping the perimeter. Every entry point. Every weapon. Every weakness. He memorized it all. The gates opened without question. Of course. They had been waiting. Inside, the air felt wrong. Too still. Too controlled. Vincent walked in without slowing. And then, he saw Liam, standing in the center of the hall. White. Still. Fragile. Like something already placed on an altar. Liam. Liam turned at the sound of his voice. Relief flashed across his face. Raw. Unhidden. You came, he said, stepping forward without thinking. Vincent stopped a few steps away. His eyes moved quickly. Over Liam's posture, his breathing, the faint tension in his shoulders. What happened? Vincent asked. Before Liam could answer. Well, the voice cut through the space like a blade. Vincent turned. Elias Ashford. Even without introduction, Vincent knew. Power sat on him too easily. Cruelty even easier. So this is the one, Elias said, gaze sliding toward Vincent with quiet interest. Liam's fingers tightened slightly at his sides. Yes, he said. No hesitation. No denial. Vincent didn't react outwardly. But something in his chest sharpened. Elias studied them both. Then smiled. I was beginning to think my son had no taste, he said lightly. But this is interesting. Vincent met his gaze evenly. You called me here, Vincent said. Why? Elias didn't answer him directly. Instead, he looked at Liam. You've made quite the mess, he said. Liam didn't look away. I told you, Liam replied quietly. I wouldn't accept anyone else. The room stilled. Vincent's gaze flicked toward him. Anyone else? Elias sighed almost theatrically. Stubborn, he muttered. Then casually. Fine. Marry him. The words dropped like a verdict. Silence followed. Heavy. Unavoidable. Vincent didn't move. You're serious. Elias looked amused. Do I look like I joke about family matters? Vincent's mind moved fast. Too fast. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. He had planned for control. Gradual infiltration. Calculated proximity. Not this. Not a direct tie. Not a chain. And yet, his gaze shifted to Liam. Liam stood there, eyes fixed on him. Hope. Fear. Something fragile trembling beneath both. Vincent, Liam said softly, like the room didn't exist anymore. It's okay. Vincent stilled. It's what I want, Liam added. The words were quiet, but they landed hard. Vincent studied him. Long. Careful. This wasn't strategy. Not from Liam. This was emotion. Messy. Reckless. Dangerous. Vincent exhaled slowly. This could still work. Better, even. Closer meant faster. And faster meant. He looked back at Elias. Fine, Vincent said calmly. Liam's breath caught. Elias smiled. Good, he said. Then it settled. The ceremony happened before either of them could step back. Witnesses gathered. Documents prepared. Rings placed. It wasn't a wedding. It was a transaction. Vincent stood beside Liam, unmoving, unreadable. Liam's hands trembled when he signed his name. Vincent noticed. Of course he did. When it was time, he took Liam's hand. Warm. Slightly unsteady. The ring slid into place. Liam's fingers curled faintly, like he was holding on to something he didn't want to lose. When it was Liam's turn, he hesitated, just for a second, then slid the ring onto Vincent's finger with quiet determination. Their eyes met. Liam smiled. Small. Soft. Completely sincere. Vincent didn't return it. That night, they were alone. The room was dim, quiet except for the faint sound of breathing. Vincent stood near the dresser, loosening his cuffs. Liam remained by the window. Of course he did. Always that distance. Always that same position. You didn't have to agree, Liam said after a while. Vincent glanced at him. You asked me to stay, he replied simply. Liam turned slightly. And you did. Vincent shrugged faintly. You looked like you needed someone. Not a lie. Just not the whole truth. Liam's expression softened. I did. Silence stretched. Vincent watched him carefully. Every movement. Every shift. You understand what this is, right? Vincent asked after a moment. Liam nodded slowly. It's not, he hesitated, then corrected himself quietly. It doesn't have to be anything right now. Vincent didn't respond immediately. Good. Liam was adjusting expectations on his own. That makes things easier, Vincent said finally. Liam gave a small nod. I won't make things difficult for you. Vincent's gaze lingered on him. You already did, he said calmly. Liam flinched. Barely. Sorry, he whispered. Vincent looked away. Get some rest, he said. Liam didn't move. Will you stay? He asked, quieter this time. Vincent paused. Then, yes. Not for the reason Liam thought. But the answer still made Liam's shoulders ease. He moved to the bed slowly, like he was afraid the moment would break if he rushed it. Vincent turned off the lights. Darkness settled between them. Not close. Not distant. Something in between. Vincent lay awake longer than he should have. Listening. Measuring. Planning. Everything was accelerating now. Faster than expected. But that didn't matter. If anything, it made the end come sooner. Across the room, Liam stared into the dark. His breathing slow. Even. Perfectly calm. I got you, he whispered so quietly it barely existed. Vincent didn't hear it. Didn't see the way Liam's fingers curled into the sheets. Not with fear, but with quiet, controlled resolve. Because to the world, Liam Ashford was just a lovesick Omega who had clung too tightly. And Vincent believed it. Completely. The first humiliation was subtle. Almost forgettable. Liam stood in the university courtyard, holding a folder of documents he had spent days preparing. Research. Careful. Perfect. Until a voice cut through the air. You're Liam Ashford, right? Liam turned. 3 alphas stood nearby, their expressions amused in that quiet, cruel way that didn't need volume. I heard you got married, one of them said. Liam nodded slowly. Yes. Another laughed. Didn't think someone like you could pull that off. The words weren't loud, but they spread. People turned. Watched. Whispered. Liam didn't react. Didn't argue. Didn't defend himself. Just stood there. Then, one of them reached forward and knocked the folder from Liam's hands. Papers scattered across the ground. Liam froze for half a second, then knelt to pick them up. No anger. No resistance. Just quiet obedience. Careful, the alpha said mockingly. Wouldn't want your husband to see you like this. Laughter followed. Liam's fingers trembled slightly as he gathered the papers. Then, a shadow fell over them. That's enough. The voice was calm. Cold. Final. The laughter died instantly. Vincent stood there, gaze sharp, unreadable. The 3 alphas stiffened. We were just joking, one of them said quickly. Vincent didn't respond. He simply looked at them. And that was enough. They left. Fast. Silently. Vincent crouched down without a word and began picking up the scattered papers. Liam stared at him. You didn't have to, he said softly. Vincent didn't look up. You shouldn't let people walk over you like that. Not anger. Not comfort. Just a statement. Liam's fingers tightened around the papers. I'm used to it. Vincent paused. Just for a second. Then handed the last sheet back to him. Stop getting used to it. Liam nodded. Okay. Vincent watched him walk away afterward. Slow, quiet, alone, then turned and pulled out his phone. "They'll do it again," he said into the receiver. A pause. "No," Vincent added calmly. "This time make it worse." He ended the call. His expression didn't change. The second time, it wasn't subtle. It was deliberate. Liam had barely stepped into the lecture hall when someone blocked his path. "You think marrying someone makes you untouchable?" the alpha sneered. Liam didn't answer. Didn't move. The push came without warning. Hard. Liam stumbled back, hitting the desk behind him. Gasps filled the room. "You don't belong here," another voice added. Someone laughed. Someone whispered. Liam steadied himself slowly. Still no reaction. Still no fight. The humiliation settled heavier this time. Deeper. More public. Then, the door slammed open. Silence dropped instantly. Vincent walked in. Sharp. Controlled. Dangerous. His gaze swept the room once. Then landed on Liam. "What happened?" Liam hesitated. Then shook his head. "Nothing." Vincent's jaw tightened slightly. He turned his gaze toward the others. "You call this nothing?" No one answered. Of course they didn't. Vincent stepped forward slowly. "If you have something to say," he said, voice low, "say it to me." No one did. They never did. Vincent exhaled softly. Then turned back to Liam. "Come here." Liam obeyed immediately. Vincent's hand closed around his wrist, not harsh, not gentle, and pulled him closer. "Stay with me," Vincent said. Not loud. Not soft. Final. Liam nodded. "Okay." That night, Liam sat on the edge of the bed, shoulders slightly slumped. Vincent stood across from him, watching. "You're not even angry," Vincent said. Liam didn't look up. "It doesn't matter." Vincent frowned slightly. "It does." Liam shook his head. "I'm fine." A lie. A quiet one. Vincent stepped closer. "You don't look fine." Liam let out a small breath. "You always show up," he said. Vincent stilled. Liam finally looked up at him. "Before it gets worse," he added softly. Something twisted in Vincent's chest. Sharp. Unwelcome. "That's enough," Liam continued. "It's more than enough." Vincent didn't answer. Because he knew. He knew exactly how much worse it could get. Because he was the one deciding it. Days turned into a pattern. Whispers. Rumors. Small incidents that kept growing. Every time Vincent arrived. Every time he stopped it. Every time Liam looked at him like he was something steady in a world that wasn't. Dependence deepened. Exactly as Vincent intended. But something else grew with it. Something Vincent didn't plan. One evening, Liam reached for him first. It was small. Barely anything. Just his fingers brushing against Vincent's sleeve. "Stay a little longer," Liam said quietly. Vincent looked down at him. There was no hesitation in that touch. No fear. Just need. Vincent didn't pull away. "Fine," he said. Liam's shoulders relaxed instantly. Too easily. Vincent noticed. Of course he did. But this time, he didn't step back. Didn't create distance. Didn't correct it. Because something about it felt right. Later that night, Vincent stood alone in the dark. His phone still in his hand. "Continue," he said quietly. A pause. "But don't cross the line." Another pause. "He still needs to believe I'm protecting him." He ended the call. Closed his eyes briefly. Everything was still under control. Exactly as planned. And yet, his thoughts drifted. Not to the Ashfords. Not to revenge. But to Liam. The way he looked at him. The way he trusted him. The way he didn't fight. Didn't resist. "Why don't you break?" Vincent murmured. Because anyone else would have by now. Anyone else would have cracked under the pressure. But Liam stayed soft. Stayed quiet. Stayed close. And Vincent, for the first time, didn't realize he was the one being pulled in. Across the room, Liam sat in silence. His head lowered. His expression hidden. His fingers traced lightly over the faint mark left on his wrist. From where Vincent always held him. His breathing was steady. Too steady. "Just a little more," Liam whispered. And this time, there was no softness left at all. The Ashford empire didn't collapse all at once. It started with whispers. A shipment intercepted. Accounts frozen. Names leaked. Small cracks. Carefully placed. Vincent watched it unfold from a distance, fingers steepled, gaze sharp. "Too easy," he murmured. The Ashfords were powerful. Paranoid. Ruthless. They didn't make mistakes like this. And yet, They were bleeding. Vincent should have been satisfied. This was what he wanted, what he had built toward. But something about it felt off, too precise, too controlled, like someone else was pulling the strings. His gaze shifted unconsciously, toward the door, toward the quiet presence that had become constant. Liam. Liam stood by the window again. Always the same place. Always the same silence. But lately, there were changes. Small. Subtle. The way people avoided him more than before. The way whispers died when he passed. The way even some of the Ashford's own men hesitated. Vincent noticed. Of course he did. You've been busy, Vincent said one evening. Liam turned slightly. Busy. Vincent watched him carefully. The Ashfords are losing ground, he said. A pause. They always had enemies, Liam replied softly. Deflection. Clean. Simple. Vincent didn't push. Not yet. The heat came without warning. It hit like a storm that had been building quietly for years. Liam collapsed to his knees. His breath shattered. His body trembled violently. Vincent was across the room in seconds. Liam. The scent hit him. Sweet. No. Not just sweet. Heavy. Commanding. Wrong. Vincent's pupils blew wide. This wasn't normal. Dominant Omega, he breathed. Rare. Dangerous. Liam's fingers dug into the floor. Stay back, he whispered. But his voice was already breaking. Vincent's control snapped. The room filled with pheromones, thick, suffocating, clashing. Alpha. Omega. Neither yielding. Liam's body arched slightly, a soft, broken sound escaping him. Don't, he tried again, weaker now. Vincent, don't. But Vincent was already gone. Instinct took over. He grabbed Liam, pulled him close. The world blurred. Heat. Scent. Need. Nothing else mattered. The night dissolved into fragments. Fingers gripping too tight. Breath lost between gasps. Control shattered completely. Vincent wasn't gentle. Liam didn't resist. Didn't fight. Didn't push him away. Only held on. Tighter. Like he had been waiting. The mark came at the end. Sharp. Final. Vincent's teeth sank into Liam's neck. Claiming. Binding. Destroying any distance left between them. Liam's body stilled. Then relaxed completely. As if something had finally settled. Morning came slow. Heavy. Vincent woke first. His head throbbed. His body still burned faintly with the aftermath. Then, memory hit. All at once. His gaze snapped downward. Liam lay beside him. Silent. Still. Marked. Vincent froze. What did I do? He muttered. Regret didn't come. Not fully. But something darker did. Something possessive. Something irreversible. His hand moved before he thought, brushing lightly against Liam's neck. The mark. His mark. A low, quiet exhale left him. Mine, he whispered. The words slipped out without permission. Liam stirred. His eyes opened slowly. No panic. No shock. Just quiet awareness. You marked me, Liam said softly. Vincent didn't deny it. Yes. A pause. Do you regret it? Liam asked. Vincent should have said yes. Should have stepped back. Created distance. Reclaimed control. But instead, no. The answer came too easily. Too honestly. Something shifted in Liam's gaze. Not surprise. Something deeper. Okay, Liam said quietly. He didn't question it. Didn't argue. Just accepted it. Days passed. The consequences came quickly. Liam grew quieter. More withdrawn. But not weaker. Never weaker. Vincent stayed closer. Always watching. Always present. Possessive in ways he didn't bother to hide anymore. And the Ashfords. They began to fall apart. One brother arrested. Another missing. Deals collapsing overnight. Elias Ashford grew desperate. Vincent saw it. Enjoyed it. This was the end. Exactly as he planned. And yet, it wasn't me, he muttered one night. Because this scale, this precision, it went beyond him. His gaze shifted slowly, toward Liam, who sat quietly, one hand resting unconsciously over his stomach. Vincent stilled. Liam, he said. Liam looked up. Yes. Vincent hesitated. Then, are you feeling unwell? Liam blinked slightly, then lowered his gaze. I think I'm pregnant. Silence. Absolute. Vincent's mind went blank. Then, sharp, focused, possessive. Mine, he said immediately. Not a question. Liam nodded. Yes. Vincent stepped closer slowly. Something in his chest tightened, then locked into place. This wasn't part of the plan. But it didn't matter. Nothing did. Because now, Liam wasn't just connected to him. He was bound. Completely. Vincent reached out, his hand hovering for a second, then resting lightly against Liam's stomach. Careful. Unfamiliar. You're not going anywhere, he said quietly. Not a threat. A promise. Liam looked at him. Long. Silent. Then, very faintly, we'll see, he whispered. Vincent didn't hear it. Didn't notice the shift. Didn't see the way Liam's eyes had changed completely. Because by the time Vincent realized the truth, it would already be too late. That night, Liam stood alone, looking out over the city, the Ashford estate behind him. Cracking. Burning. Falling. Exactly as planned. His hand rested over his stomach. Calm. Steady. Almost finished, he said softly. And this time, there was nothing gentle left in him at all. The Ashford name collapsed without noise. No war. No spectacle. Just disappearance of power, so complete it felt like it had never existed at all. Vincent stood in the center of what used to be control. Now it was only silence. The estate was emptying. Servants gone. Guards dismissed. Records sealed. Everything he built toward, everything he believed he was steering, was already finished. And he hadn't been the one steering it. That realization came slowly. Unbearably slowly. Until it became impossible to ignore. Liam was gone. Not missing in the way people ran away in panic. Not taken. Not hidden. Gone like someone who had already decided he would not be found. Vincent searched anyway. Every safe house. Every contact. Every shadow network he controlled. Nothing. No trace. No scent. No signal. It was as if Liam had never existed outside of the space beside him. That was the first time Vincent felt something close to panic. The second time came when he found the letter. It was placed on his desk. Neatly. Precisely. Like everything Liam did. Vincent didn't touch it at first. Just stared at it. White paper. Folded once. His name written in calm handwriting. No hesitation. No emotion. That alone made his chest tighten. He opened it. And read. Vincent. The first line already felt wrong. Not soft. Not apologetic. Final. You always thought you were leading this. Vincent's fingers stilled. From the beginning. I let you believe that. Silence filled the room. The Ashford family did not fall because of your strategy. It fell because I built every path you walked on. His breath slowed. The leaks. The arrests. The financial collapse. Even your access to Elias Ashford. A pause. All of it was arranged long before you touched me. Vincent's grip on the paper tightened slightly. You were never correcting my life. You were inside my plan. The world outside the window suddenly felt distant. My mother was 16 when she was taken by Elias Ashford. She thought it was survival. It was captivity. Vincent's jaw tightened. I was born into that mistake. And I grew up inside it. The words didn't shake. They cut clean. You asked me once why I chose you. Vincent remembered. Vividly. It was never love at first sight. It was access. A pause. Longer this time. You hated my family. That made you predictable. Vincent exhaled slowly through his nose. I made myself look soft so you would underestimate me. I made myself look dependent so you would keep me close. His fingers went still. I let you humiliate me publicly because it made your attention easier to control. I let you save me because it anchored you to me emotionally. Vincent's throat tightened. Even the night of my heat. Silence. I did not stop you. The sentence landed harder than anything before it. Vincent didn't move. Because I needed the mark. And I needed your obsession. A breath. After that, you stopped thinking I could leave. Vincent's eyes darkened slightly. That was the point. The letter continued. You think you destroyed the Ashfords. But you only removed what I allowed you to see. A pause. I finished what my mother could not. And I used you as the blade. Vincent's hand trembled slightly. Just once. You were never my captor, Vincent. You were my instrument. Silence swallowed the room. Then. And now I am done. Vincent's breath stopped. The child is mine by choice, not by accident. I will raise them away from this. A pause. Longer. Heavier. Do not look for me. Vincent's chest tightened sharply. You will not find me. I will not return. His fingers curled against the paper. You once said I should learn to disobey. I did. Silence. This is the result. The final lines were quieter. Not softer. Just final. If you had shown me sincerity, even once, I might have chosen something different. Vincent's eyes froze on the words. But you never stopped seeing me as a tool. A pause. So I became one. The letter ended there. No signature. No goodbye. Just absence written into ink. Vincent stood still for a long time. The paper slipped slightly in his hand. Liam, he said quietly. No answer. He read it again. Then stopped counting. Each time, it became clearer. Not betrayal. Not deception. Precision. Perfect planning. Perfect execution. And he had never noticed. Vincent laughed once. Short. Broken. I never had you, he whispered. The room didn't respond. He sank into the chair slowly. For the first time, there was no plan forming. No countermeasure. No next move. Just silence where control used to be. Days passed. He didn't leave the estate. Didn't meet anyone. Didn't speak much. Everything still functioned. The empire remained. The Ashfords were gone. But none of it mattered anymore. Because Liam was not inside it. And without him, there was nothing left to win. One night, Vincent stood by the window. Same place Liam used to stand. He pressed 2 fingers lightly against the glass. You should have stayed, he murmured. A pause. Then softer. I would have changed. But even he didn't believe it. Outside, the city moved on. Inside, Vincent remained exactly where Liam had left him. Unfinished. Unforgiven. And completely alone.